Al-Zahrawi Part 3. Al-Zahrawi was the first to insert silk threads into ligating arteries after surgery, and he was the first to insert oud strings into them, which are made from the intestinal wall of sheep. Al-Zahrawi used advanced methods to sterilize wounds with syrup and oil, or with vinegar and oil, as well as sulfur, and he recorded the method of sterilizing the patient in many chapters of his book Al-Tasrif. We see this as establishing the rules for sterilizing wounds with syrup that contains alcohol, which is what we use until now, in addition to vinegar, and the oil is sulfa compounds. Indeed, Al-Zahrawi spoke about dentistry and the possibility of making new teeth from cow bones and installing them in the patient's mouth. He said, "A bone may be carved from a cow's bone, made from it to resemble the shape of a molar, and placed in the place where the molar was gone, and tightened as we said, so it remains and enjoys, that if God willing." 9. And in this description he is considered the first Muslim doctor to talk about dental implants 1,000 years ago. Indeed, Al-Zahrawi was the first to insert silk threads in tying the arteries after surgery, and he was the first to insert oud strings into them, which are made from the intestinal wall of sheep, which is what surgical sutures are made of nowadays. Al-Zahrawi performed successful surgeries on nasal polyps and tonsils, and removing various tumors in the larynx and tracheostomy, repairing men's breasts that resemble women, repairing excessive enlargement of women's breasts, treating cancer and dropsy, and treating children who were born without a visible external urinary tract or a narrow urethra or whose urethra was out of place. 10. And recorded it in all its details in his books. The truth is that what Al-Zahrawi did and what he discovered in terms of treatments, complex and precise surgical operations, and surgical tools in the field of medical devices, cannot be sufficient for a brief article like this, and because of this vast experience and the amazing discoveries that took the scientific approach based on induction, experimentation, observation, and surgery by hand, the painstaking work that lasted half a century in the field of medicine, 1,000 years ago from now, is considered a remarkable matter in which Al-Zahrawi deserves this great position, in which he was considered the greatest professor of surgery in the history of Islamic civilization, so that the man would meet his Lord in his beloved city of Cordoba in the year 404 AH/1013 AD.